British journalist once asked Mother Teresa how she kept going, knowing that she could never meet the needs of all the dying in the streets of Calcutta. She replied, "I am not called to be successful. I am called to be faithful." Mother Teresa is not called to eliminate poverty, not called to eliminate disease, not called to eliminate death, but to be faithful in what the Lord has assigned to her. To be faithful above all things, to be most eager about faithfulness, and to leave success and failure to God. We began to look at this theme as we celebrated St. Leo's Day. When folks tell the story of St. Leo, they talk about his success. Leo going out to meet Attila the Hun, who's attacking Italy. Attila departs, Rome is saved. What we don't hear is about Leo's failure. 3 years later, Genseric the Vandal is attacking Rome. Leo goes out to meet him, and Genseric doesn't leave. For 2 weeks, he pillages Rome. Thousands of Romans deported, sold into slavery. Leo is a saint, not because he succeeded or he failed. He's a saint because he is faithful. I am called not to be successful, but to be faithful. That's how God judges us, not by our success or our failures, but by our faithfulness. Let's dig into our parable today, see what God has to say about faithfulness, success, and failure, and how we can live what the truth that he gives us. In our parable today, we find it in our Gospel of Matthew, but we also find it in the Gospel of Luke. A master is going on a journey, and he gives his property to his servants. In Luke's version, he commands his servants to trade with his property. In other words, use my property. He doesn't command such and such results. He doesn't command such and such profit margins. He doesn't command such and such revenue. He only commands that they be faithful with the gifts that he gives. He's more concerned with faithful use of his gifts than what comes from it. In that same passage in Luke, the master, upon his return, he asks them how they worked, how they labored. He doesn't say, "Show me the money." He doesn't say, "What are the profits?" No. He asks them how they worked. And in both Matthew's version and Luke's version, why does the master praise the servants, the first and the second? Not for their success, but for their faithfulness. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. The reason that the 5 yielded 5 and the 2 yielded 2, faithfulness. The third servant's failure, it's not a failure of skill. It's not a failure of management. It is a refusal to use the gifts that God has given. A refusal of faithfulness. God is most concerned about our faithfulness. St. Paul knew this truth well. In his letter to the Corinthians, he writes, "I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. And each," St. Paul says, "shall receive his wages according to his labor." Who gives the growth? God does. Who gives success and failure? God. How does 5 yield 5 and 2 yield 2? God. We are faithful in planting and watering, but what comes from that planting and watering is God's. And we receive our wages not according to our production, not according to our success or our failure, but according to our faithful labor, our faithful work. I am not called to be successful. I am called to be faithful, judging our lives by the criteria of success and failure, being most eager about success and failure. It's pretty pervasive. We think of ourselves like businesses rather than disciples. My life has value when I'm successful. My life has value when I'm successful in business, in my career, in my vocation, and it doesn't have value when I'm not. Again, God does not command results from his gifts, only that we faithfully use them. He does not ask us to show him a profit margin. He asks us to show him faithfulness. Faithfulness is what he praises. Faithfulness is what he rewards. As a priest, as a pastor, it's easy for me to get wrapped up in mass counts, collections, attendance at parish events, and to judge my life by them. God is much less concerned about these than I am, and they are not what he will judge me by. What he wants is for me to be faithful in prayer, to be faithful in celebrating the sacraments, to be faithful in preaching, to be faithful in pastoral care, and that is what he will ask me about on Judgment Day. Not how full the church was, not what October collections were, not how many people attended parish events. He wants me to be faithful and to leave success and failure to him. He wants you to be faithful in your vocation and to leave success and failure to him. The servants in our parable are great because they are faithful. St. Leo is great because he is faithful. Mother Teresa is great because she is faithful. May we